What happens when a white customer humiliates a black woman in her own restaurant, assuming she's just the help? He has no idea who she really is. What happens next leaves the entire room in stunned silence. The smell of fresh-baked bread and roasted coffee beans was hanging in the air like a warm hug. It was one of those slow, golden mornings. You know the kind, when the world hadn't lost its mind just yet. My restaurant, my baby, was easing into the day. A couple of early birds were already outside, peeking in through the windows like kids outside a candy store. And me? I was behind the counter, apron on, wiping down the polished wood like I'd just bought it yesterday. I didn't have to be there. Lord knows I had staff. But our main cook had called out. His kid was sick, and I wasn't about to let my team scramble while I sat at home sipping tea and pretending to be some hands-off boss. That ain't me. Never been. I came in early because I care, because that place wasn't built on investors or fancy marketing. It was built on heart, sweat, Sundays missed, and more we'll-make-it-work moments than I can count. So imagine this. I'm in the middle of straightening the pastry display when the front door creaks open. Not slammed, not knocked on, just creaks, like someone decided rules didn't apply to them today. In walks this white man, probably late 50s, sharp suit, expensive shoes, and an expression like he just walked into the wrong part of town. The "I'm better than this" kind of look. Y'all know the one. Now, our hours are posted big as life right on the glass. Open, 8 a.m. It's 7:54, but fine, I get it. Some folks are in a rush. So I give him a warm smile, the kind that says, "You're welcome here, even though we ain't technically open yet." "Good morning, sir," I say, keeping it friendly. "We open in just 5 minutes, but if you're in a hurry, I can go ahead and make you a to-go coffee." You'd think I offered to poison him. He looked me up and down like I was something he scraped off his shoe, lips curled, eyes narrowed, and then he says, plain as day, "Yeah, I know what I can expect from you. Get me a real manager. I don't want you making me anything." I swear the room went dead quiet. Even the espresso machine gave up. My smile didn't drop. Not yet. But my heart, oh, it twisted hard, like someone reached in and wrung it out. I blinked. Not because I was confused, but because part of me wanted to believe I misheard. "I'm sorry, sir," I said, calm as I could manage. "Why is it you don't want to be served by me?" And then, with all the entitlement money can buy, he drops this. "Because this place loses class when people like you work here. I'm a paying customer. I've got standards. People like you should be mopping floors, not talking to customers." There it was, the gut punch, right in the middle of my own restaurant. Not because I was rude, not because I messed up an order, just because I dared to exist in my own skin. You know that moment when the air shifts and you realize, this isn't ignorance, this is intentional. Like he woke up ready to disrespect someone today and chose me as his warm-up. Now, listen, I've dealt with bias. I've dealt with assumptions. But there's something extra ugly about a man walking into your house, drinking in your hard work, and telling you to your face you don't belong. I didn't yell, I didn't argue, I just nodded, turned on my heel, and headed to the back. Because sometimes silence says more than a sermon. As I walked through the kitchen door, one of my servers, young, sweet, with eyes big as moons, rushed over. "Miss Janelle, are you okay? I saw..." I took a breath so deep it hurt. "I'm all right, baby. He just needed coffee. I'll take care of it." But, oh, let me tell you, I wasn't all right. I was burning. Not from shame, no. From the kind of fury that simmers in your bones when you realize people like him think they're untouchable. Like they can walk in and strip you down with words, and it won't matter because the world's already on their side. And what made it worse? He didn't just reject my help. He rejected me, right in the middle of my own damn dream. Turns out his name was Ron. Of course it was. The type of name that shows up uninvited and still acts like it owns the room. After throwing shade at me like I wasn't even human, Ron still had the nerve to sit down and make himself comfortable. Legs crossed, elbows wide, like this place was his country club and we were all just staff he forgot to tip. Didn't even open the menu, just waved at my young server, Camille, and barked out loud enough for the whole zip code to hear, "Hope you at least know how to serve, because if that dark one comes back, I'm out of here." Camille froze. This was her third week on the job, bless her heart. And there he was, disrespecting her, me, the air we breathe, in my restaurant, like it was just another Tuesday. She tried to smooth it over, voice shaking but steady. Well, sir, all of our staff is trained the same. We're happy to serve you professionally. He wasn't done. Oh no, Ron was on a roll. He leaned back, tilted his head toward another table, and said it like he was performing for an audience. This place used to have standards. Now, just another low-rent joint pretending to be upscale. You know what I mean? And let me tell you, he said that last part looking dead in the eyes of a black couple at the next table. I wasn't there to hear it. Not yet. I was still in the back, sitting on a crate of onions, palms sweaty, trying to keep my chest from caving in. Not because I was scared, but because I was tired. Tired of having to prove my worth in a space I built. Tired of smiling through people's filth just so they don't feel uncomfortable. I'd poured years into this place. No, late nights, early mornings, cutting corners to pay staff on time, turning my grandmother's biscuit recipe into a bestseller, and that man walked in and tried to erase it all. With one sentence, like I was just some random help who got too close to the cash register. And the thing is, it wasn't just about me. It never is. It's about every little girl who's told she's too loud, every black boy followed around a store, every resume tossed because the name sounded ethnic. Ron? Ron was just another piece in a crooked puzzle. 5 minutes passed, maybe 6. I stood up, smoothed out my apron, and walked back into the storm. The first thing I noticed, silence. A thick, sticky kind of silence. Eyes darting, phones recording low from under the table. The tension was practically dripping off the ceiling. I leaned toward Camille, who was gripping her notepad like it might fly away. "Everything all right?" I asked, calm but clipped. She swallowed, whispered, "He's demanding to see the owner. Said he needs to complain about the black woman." She didn't say it loud. She didn't have to. My spine straightened. "Perfect," I said. "Let's give the man what he wants." I walked up to his table slow, controlled, the way you do when you know the next 5 seconds might change something bigger than the moment. Ron glanced up from his phone, didn't even flinch. Didn't recognize me, which wasn't surprising. Men like him don't see people like me. They categorize us. And if we're not wearing a name tag that says manager, we're just background noise. "You the owner?" he asked, real casual. I looked him square in the face, no blinking, no stuttering. "Yes, I'm Janelle Watson, founder, head chef, and the sole owner of this establishment." He froze, like someone pulled the batteries out of his mouth. A flicker of disbelief shot across his face, then confusion. Then, I kid you not, fear. "You what? You're the owner? That can't be right." "Oh, it's right," I said, steady as granite. "Anything else you'd like to complain about?" He opened his mouth, closed it, blinked, then tried again. I thought, I just assumed." "Assumed what?" I tilted my head just a bit. "That someone who looks like me couldn't possibly own a place like this." He didn't have an answer, but the rest of the room? They did. One man stood up from his booth, elder, dignified, voice rich like old gospel. "You're a strong woman, and you ain't standing alone today." Then a clap. Just one. Then 2. Then the whole place was on their feet, clapping, some nodding, some holding phones like it was church service, and I just delivered the word. And Ron? He sat there, shrinking by the second. Couldn't decide if he should leave or bury himself under the table. Ron finally opened his mouth, fumbling like a man caught in a lie he told himself for too long. I just thought you were staff. I didn't know. No one told me." I cut him off, calm, sharp, and crystal clear. "You didn't need to know who I was to show basic decency. This ain't about position. It's about humanity. You walked into my house and disrespected me for existing." He went still, no more smirks, no more ego. Just a man realizing the floor beneath him had vanished. But I wasn't done. This restaurant was built for everyone, but what we don't serve is hate. So you can go, and don't bother coming back. The room parted like the Red Sea, giving him a clear path. Ron stood, eyes low, face pale, and left without another word. Out the door, out of place, and very much out of power. And then the room changed. One by one, people came up to me, some clapping, some quiet, but all of them present. A man shook my hand and said, "Thank you for standing your ground." An older woman leaned in and whispered, "You reminded us that kindness doesn't mean silence." I didn't cry, I didn't need to. The dignity was enough. By noon, the video of our exchange was all over the internet. It wasn't just about Ron anymore. It was about every person who's been looked at like they don't belong. People shared their own stories. The comment sections lit up with love, with truth, with recognition. That night, I stood by the window of my restaurant. Same street, same view. But inside, something had shifted. Because the real win wasn't going viral. It was showing people, especially ones who look like me, that we don't have to swallow disrespect just to keep the peace. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is stand still and let the storm walk out.